So the Trump administration's mass deportation plan seems to already be underway, even though we know Trump is not even in office yet. Some even going as far as to self-deport, and the liberal media is panicking about this, self-deporting out of fear of being deported by the incoming administration. You gotta love it. All right, coming up, we have a sanctuary city flipping on immigration, and then we have the Democrats showing the world what they actually care about with the hearing with Senator Noem, and then we have the illegals apparently self-deporting. So let's get into it. All right, first up, we have the sanctuary city of New York, where we have Mayor Adams. We all know he championed the sanctuary city status of New York way back in the beginning of his campaign, and we also know that didn't work out too well. The migrants came in, crime went up, New Yorkers got real mad about migrant benefits, and most importantly, the cities seemed to be running out of money because they were paying a lot for running these illegal migrant programs. Now, it seems that Mayor Adams switched his tone on the whole sanctuary city thing, and it looks like it is very possible that he will be working with Trump's administration to mass deport illegal migrants. Now here's MSNBC on mass deportations. Play it.
With a mayor, again, that hasn't just signaled this willingness to cooperate and collaborate with the Trump administration, but one that is literally on his way to go meet him just 4 days before inauguration. And so I think that's the question that these migrants had. No? How will this sanctuary city that has always been this embodiment of immigrants protect them from Trump? I think one of the things that is uncomfortable, but I think you and I have talked about this many times, is the way in which the migrant crisis fundamentally changed all these cities.
Totally.
Really testing what it means to be a sanctuary city, not just sort of this physical capacity to take on migrants, but the moral capacity, to sort of like hold on to these principles when this country's shifting to the right. And I think
Absolutely.
That's the fear, that you can't even rely on this idea anymore. Will they separate my family? Like that is right. What everyone is thinking about. Will our families be separated? After crossing the Darien jungle, which they did, after navigating the Mexican cartels, crossing the southern border, they're seeking asylum in a country that is threatening to separate their families. And I think that's sort of what we have to understand. That's what's coming up. In 4 days, we're about to see a Trump administration that's not just empowered, but will be completely emboldened. I don't know if you remember in 2017, literally within Trump being in office a couple of months, ICE arrests completely increased by 30%. Yeah. So I think that's the fear that people like Jason have right now. No? What does it mean to have this administration emboldened? No, what it means is that literally you're going to have local law enforcement pretending to be ICE agents. You're going to have ICE feeling emboldened to go into churches, hospitals, as we talked about, schools. You're going to have a new DHS that will also feel emboldened to pretend like we're literally being invaded at the southern border. You will have vigilantes emboldened to take matters into their own hands. And so all of this will definitely be contested. No? There will be legal fights. But I think the point is that what they're trying to do now is inflict fear. Inflict so much fear so that people like Jason either self-deport,
right,
or hide in the shadows. That's the strategy.
Did they have?
All right, so this is what Americans voted for. I mean, this was a top issue in the 2024 election. That is why Trump won. That is why the Democrats lost. People are fed up with the illegal immigration, all these stunts that they're trying to pull for these people to be here and give them all these benefits that even American citizens don't even have. Clearly, the Democrats don't care about the regular American family. Here we have a clip of Senator Noem being questioned by Senator, I think it was Blumenthal, about separation of immigrant families. Play the clip.
I want to call your attention to an effort that I've led to help reunite children with their parents, children who were separated as a result of the so-called family separation policy in the last administration. I have introduced a measure called Keep Families Together, not only to limit separation of families at or near ports of entry, but also the Families Belong Together Act for several Congresses to help bring the children, the kids who were victims of this policy and who still are not back with their parents. I hope that you will support that kind of effort.
Senator, the Trump administration never had a family separation policy. They had a zero tolerance policy, which said that our laws would be followed. What I'm alarmed by is the over 300,000 children that went missing during the Biden administration. And when we talk about children and what they're potentially facing as far as victimization in this country and the trafficking that's going on, this administration's lack of desire to find out where those children are or what they may be going through is alarming to me. So I want to stop that.
Because my time is expiring, I'm just going to interrupt again with apologies to say, let's put aside.
Well, I can't put aside 340,000 children.
Labels. Let's put aside what happened in the past. There are still 1,000 children who are separated and waiting to be reunited. I'd like your commitment that you're going to continue the effort to reunite them with their parents.
Senator, keeping families together is critically important to me and to this country. I'm concerned about Laken Riley's family, that they no longer have her. I'm concerned about the fact that we have people in this country that don't know where their children are, or people in other countries who sent their children here and they've been lost by this administration. So yes, my focus will be to keep families together. We will uphold our law and we'll make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep our children safe from the trafficking and the drug epidemic that's hit this country.
I'm going to end on an optimistic note and say I take that as a yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms.
All right, so you can see clearly Democrats are showing where their loyalties lie, okay, with the illegal migrants. They care about the separated families more than they care about the missing kids, the 300,000 missing kids. I mean, you heard him say, let's put that to the side. Let's just put it to the side and let's talk about these separated families. You can hear people in the background, chuckling a little bit because he's being pretty ridiculous, Well, at least some migrants, are getting the message. Trump says things and the world moves. Migrants are putting on their Lamborghinis and they are ready to ruck all the way back home, catch their flight back home to Venezuela, whatever. Let's play this clip and see what's going on with the illegal migrants who are trying to leave and self-deport. Play the clip.
Donald Trump's mass deportation plans are set to begin in major cities, but could face immediate backlash. Just last night, a San Diego county voted to deny aid to federal immigration enforcement. But News Nation is now confirming aid. Donald Trump's mass deportation plans are set to begin in major cities, but could face immediate backlash. Just last night, a San Diego county voted to deny aid to federal immigration enforcement. But News Nation is now confirming some migrants are starting to leave on their own, attempting to self-deport ahead of the second Trump presidency. And in the past few years, the U.S. has seen the largest immigration surge in American history, with an annual average of close to 2.5 million people, and that's just from 2021 to 2023. News Nation's Allie Bradley is live for us in Del Rio, Texas, with this exclusive. So, Allie, what more are you learning about these apparent self-deportations?
Yeah, so what we're learning here, Nicole, is that migrants who are going through their asylum proceedings are actually cutting things short on their own, and they're finding ports of entry and they're trying to leave ahead of the possibility of Trump removing them. So migrants are actually finding Border Patrol agents or CBP officers, and they're asking them if they can leave. Here's the deal, though. Because those migrants are in actual legitimate proceedings, DHS really has no bearing here. They're in the court's hands right now. So all CBP can do is advise that they walk back to Mexico through a port of entry. They have that legal right to do that. Now, one man from Venezuela told agents that he was trying to get out before Trump gets in, and says that he heard there was an agreement with Mexico and Venezuela where they are actually helping to get people back to their home country. Now, Venezuela has not taken deportation flights back from the United States for nearly a year. Mexico does have a better working relationship with Maduro, and that might be a possibility for this young man. Now, we called the migrant stepfather in Pennsylvania, who confirmed that the migrant went back to Mexico to continue his journey to Venezuela. Interesting here, though, because they are in proceedings already, they are not self-deporting, they are self-departing. However, an immigration attorney that we talked to says that move is essentially the same thing, and they essentially issue a deportation order against themselves when they do this, and they likely will have issues coming back in if they have a valid hearing. Take a listen.
they are probably not going to be able to get back in to reapply or to start the process over. It's in many of these, asylum included, you kind of get one chance. And if you give up halfway through, you don't get to come back and ask for asylum again. You'll be put into a different type of proceeding and you won't have asylum available to you.
Okay, so of course this comes as President-elect Trump is promising those mass deportations come day one. So something we'll certainly be watching for. But many of the migrants that we're talking to here, Nicole, say they are worried, they are concerned of the threat of being deported, but they are also convinced that President-elect Trump is going to go after the criminals and the people that have a final order of removal first. However, remember, Border Czar Tom Homan said no one is safe because crossing the border illegally is a crime in itself.
So help me figure this out. It doesn't seem to be a coincidence to me that when Trump grabs the mic, the world moves, the world listens. That's just what happens. They know he's a serious man. Man means business. He's a businessman. Whatever he says he's going to do, he's probably going to do it. How many more people have to fold? It's been the Mexican president. What's her name? Sheinbaum? Sheinbaum. Then it was Trudeau. He went down to Mar-a-Lago, to kiss the ring, and then he went down to Mar-a-Lago, kissed the ring, and then it was nice knowing you, sir. And then he was gone, out of office, just like that, gone. Shook hands, went back home, and resigned. And now it's Greenland, talking about becoming independent from Denmark, not really becoming a U.S. I don't know if that means U.S. territory. I haven't really looked into it that much, but they are in talks with Trump right now, and this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like to have strong leadership. We got Hamas and Israel ceasefire. It's a pretty volatile area, and I don't know what's gonna come, but I'm hoping it stays like that. But in my opinion, I think it's pretty amazing the things that have happened since Trump has came. He's not even in office. What am I about to say? Came in office. He's not even in office yet. Since he's been the president-elect, things have just been changing. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm actually pretty excited for the next couple of years, because we haven't really had a real president the past about 4 years. I mean, I haven't seen Biden out really doing much, honestly. I mean, it looks like on the whole Israel and Hamas situation, Biden didn't really act on any deals. He didn't really push the Israelis to stop doing anything. He kind of just was a weak president and just let them do what they wanted. But anyway, I think this is, let everyone do what they wanted. Anyone around the world, no one really has respected America when Biden was a leader. Anyway, I digress. This has to be the greatest presidential comeback of all time. I mean, this is insane. This is unprecedented. I can't wait to see what these next 4 years are going to be like. I'm going to say that again. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the whole immigration situation. Also, let me know what you think about what it's going to be like for the next couple years, if you're excited or not. And I will